Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about the tariffs, what's going on with these tariffs that President Trump is working with the United States and the world. What is the outcome with this? So I find if I look at the charts of the United States and Donald Trump, I'm getting some very interesting information. I think you might want to hear what I'm seeing. So let's put up the charts of the United States and President Trump. So I'm going to be scooting over here and we're going to see what I think is in store for us with these tariffs. Now, we all know that there is a huge tariff war going on, and China and the United States are at odds, right? So one thing that's very, very interesting, I might say, is by looking at the United States chart, there are 4 planets in the sign of Gemini. What's significant, I believe, is that by May 14th, transiting Jupiter will be going into the sign of Gemini, where it will remain primarily for about a year. There is a point where it's going to go into Cancer for a brief period and then back into Gemini. And it will enter into Gemini May 14th, will shoot through the sign, all through the entire sign of Gemini, and by October 18th, Jupiter will turn retrograde at 0 degrees of Cancer. So it just enters as the first part, minuscule part, just touches foot into Cancer and then stations. In other words, it stands still till it turns direct. So Jupiter will be in the sign of Cancer 0 degrees from October 18th to December 5th. And I feel like this is going to be a really good thing for the world, because Jupiter's exalted in the sign of Cancer, and Jupiter will, but it will only touch foot here. So it's going to give us just a little glimpse of what's to come for when Jupiter will finally go into Cancer and remain, which won't be till June 1st of 2026. So going back to Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter will be in Gemini from May 14th till October 18th. Then December 5th, Jupiter will return back into Gemini, where it will remain there from December 5th of 2025 till June 1st of 2026. This is so important because Gemini is the sign that is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules sales, travel, communications, and most of all, the word mercantile comes from Mercury, so it rules tariffs. It rules everything to do with selling and sales and information. Mercury is the planet that rules tariffs. So, with Jupiter coming into Mercury's sign, Gemini, this is a great advantage for the United States. And I actually feel like these tariffs will benefit not only the United States, but the world. Because what I see is by the time Jupiter goes into Cancer and remains there by June of 2026, we're going to have a prosperous world that is healed of all of this fighting and nonsense for a while. Not forever, but for a while. The world still goes on. So, while Jupiter transits over first Mars, then Venus, then Jupiter, and the Sun in the United States chart, positive things are happening. Now, let us look at the chart of Donald Trump. Put up the chart of Donald Trump here below the chart of the United States, and what you see here is, look at Donald Trump's Mercury. Mercury, once again, is the planet of negotiations, right? It's in the sign, his Mercury is in Gemini, 15 degrees, right smack dab in the middle of the sign Gemini. So he has been said to be a negotiator. He wouldn't be where he is if he wasn't. Let's face it, whether you like him or not, he could not be in the position he's in. And if you will look at where Jupiter is in the United States chart, his Mercury sits exactly on Jupiter, 15 degrees of Gemini. That's remarkable. So this connects him to the United States chart. And as I say, you can't have a presidential leader of a country unless his chart is connected to the country's chart. This is what I see all the time. And if you will also notice, the United States, Saturn sits at 24 degrees of Virgo. Look at where Donald Trump's Jupiter is, 24 degrees of Virgo. So he is completely tied up with the United States chart. And I have to say this, I think that Jupiter Mercury is good. The fact that his Mercury sits on the United States Jupiter and the United States Jupiter sits on his Mercury exactly is a good thing for negotiation and trade and tariffs. Now, here's the best part. Not only are those two planets connected, but transiting Jupiter is going to cross over this degree. This is remarkable, and I'm going to look up in the ephemeris when Jupiter becomes 15 degrees of Gemini. And this will occur the end of July. This will be around July 20th. Woo, that's a crazy day, I gotta say, because that is the day that Mars and K2 collide together at 25 degrees of Leo. That's the K2 Mars in Leo, 25 degrees on that day. And then Jupiter. So this kind of means this has a lot to do with the trade wars, that violence, that event that's happening. So I'm looking at from July 20th through around July 26th. Something with these trade wars will happen, and it should be totally in the favor of the United States. Why? Because that's the Jupiter. What essentially is happening for the United States is transiting Jupiter is returning to, it's having a Jupiter return. So transiting Jupiter's conjunct natal Jupiter in the United States chart. And it's in the 7th house. What is the 7th house? The opponent. And this will mean negotiations with an opponent. And Donald Trump is going after it with his Mercury being 15 degrees of Leo. I'm sorry, of Gemini, yes. Because all these planets colliding together with the United States. It was almost like this was a destiny thing, that his Mercury sits on the United States Jupiter and transiting Jupiter during the time of trade wars and tariffs are happening. And after that, we're going to have Jupiter by October go into Cancer. And that's going to be in the 8th house of the United States chart. And if I could take this along to another level, by June, when Jupiter goes into Cancer, June of 2026 that is, June of 2026, when it goes into Cancer, it will be crossing over the United States Mercury first, and then it's Rahu. And that is a healing for the United States in a major and powerful way, because Jupiter on Mercury in the 8th house is going to bring out information, Mercury's information. This is natal Mercury in the USA chart. Jupiter will be on it. Information comes out that will heal the United States. Then by the time Jupiter hits Rahu in Cancer, 15 degrees, yes, almost 16 degrees. Let's see, that will be where the United States will have incredible prosperity. Because why? Jupiter Rahu is always major expansion. So let's see, that will be where Jupiter is going to be 15, 16 degrees. It's going to be by August of 2026. There will be an incredible healing from all of this. So we got to go through the fire to get there. And I think the summer months in the northern hemisphere, the summer months is what I'm referring to, is actually the months of June and July. There's going to be major fighting. And I actually remember China's chart has a lot of planets, especially Xi Jinping, planets in Gemini and Cancer. So this resolution is going to take longer than we think, but the results will be great for the world, not just the United States, but definitely for the United States and the world. There is a healing, and this is all happening for a very divine reason. And I have to say, no matter what side you're on, it will be good. So just relax and hope for the best. And that might mean that you're not looking at politics, but you're just looking for the best case scenario for everyone in the world. And I believe we're going to get there. So with that, I think I'll close. If you would like more information on me, want to sign up for my free newsletter and my Patreon, go to galacticcenter.org. And if you want your own chart, all your own personal aspects, and know about them daily in your calendar, on your phone or computer, go to thegalacticplanner.com. And if you'd like to study with me, go to my university website, which is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.